You know, a typical medical team on the front line of this battle against COVID-19 is not just made up of doctors alone. You have nurses, pharmacists, laboratory scientists, social workers, and the list goes on and on. And now that we're even celebrating World Health Workers Week, it is important to highlight the roles of these health workers in this fight against COVID-19 and, in the general framework of our healthcare system. So this morning, we'll be speaking to some other members of, or at least a representation of some other members of the medical team in this fight against COVID-19. And we have joining us Dr. Ogbonna Obinna, who is the national president of the Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals. He joins us via Skype from Osun State. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on the program today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Right, so let's talk about the role of your members in this fight against COVID-19, which I've heard a lot of your members say, well, it seems we're not getting enough recognition or at least appreciation. So how involved are you, first of all, in this fight against COVID-19 on the front lines?
Well, we are very much involved because in the health team or medical field, we have a lot of healthcare professionals, apart from the medical practitioners and the nurses. You have the physiotherapists, and because of this COVID-19, we have gathered most of our specialists. For instance, now, like the physiotherapists now, we have the cardiothoracic physiotherapists that are in the team now. Then we have able to harness more medical laboratory scientists that are trained to conduct molecular testing. We have about 200 of them on ground now, well trained. We have some radiographers that are already trained also to combat this COVID-19, some clinical psychologists, dietitians, dental therapists, all of this, even the optometrists, all of them are ready. And we have already formed our own task force team in our various jurisdictions, and we are collaborating with the task forces in the various states of the Federation. And we have also directed our members to make sure that they give in their best, even though we have so many issues with the government that would have debarred us from giving in our best now. But because of that patriotism and service to humanity, we are keeping that aside and making sure that we have even inaugurated a research team, the pharmacists, the medical laboratory scientists, and the dietitians. We have asked them to go ahead and look at some of our local herbs, some of the leaves and the roots of plants that we have in Nigeria. They are presently working on that project to discover the cure for COVID-19. More importantly, our members who are pharmacists have also been charged to go on to produce hand sanitizers, hand wash that we can give to government and also use to help our members who are on the front line in handling this COVID-19 pandemic. So by and large, our members are well ready. And from the statistics we have now, you can really see today we are having 254 infected, 44
this now. If you are that involved, why do you feel left out?
Well, why do we feel left out? I'm not saying we are left out. What I'm saying is that we need to make it official that it is not one group alone. It's a teamwork, and you must recognize other team players in the presidential task force. For instance, when you look at the names or the professions that are mentioned, like for example, the cardiothoracic physiotherapists, we are not there, but they play a vital role. The optometrists are not there. The optometrists can just use clinical sign, just the redness of the conjunctiva, to predict if someone may have that COVID-19 for further biochemical test for confirmation. So, for example, again, the radiographers can even use X-ray. Apart from the CT scan, they can use the X-ray result, the chest X-ray result, to make some diagnosis.
Don't you think that because at every stage of treatment, they'll go to the professionals. So don't you think that when that need arises, whichever professional is needed at that point in time, they will refer to them? Because you may have those who may be thinking, wait a minute, is there rivalry in this regard as well?
No. You know, we are in a war situation now. Let's just take the typical war situation. You have the Air Force, you have the artillery men, that is foot soldiers, you have the Navy. But all of them must be coordinated at the same time to unleash attack at the same time, almost at the same time, well coordinated. That is what we are driving at. We must all be found as a team at this time. When you need my services in that team, you don't need to go around looking for me because I'm already engrafted in that team, so that we'll give holistic approach in handling the situation. That's what we are saying. Okay, like the statistic I wanted to roll out, we have 254, we have 44 discharged, and we have 6 deaths. If you look at it, you'll see, when we look at the death rate, we have 2.3% as death rate, while 17.3% as discharge rate. When you look at the significant level, you see that we are not doing badly. We are still trying to curb this menace, and it is a collaborative work. The nurses are there doing their bit. The medical practitioners are there doing their bit. Then every other person in my own union is also there at the forefront, making sure that Nigerians and the populace are safe.
Now, you said something the other time, Dr. Ogbonna. You said you do not say that you feel left out, but you want more involvement or more inclusion, if one can use that term. From your experience in Osun State, where you are and operate from, we understand from NCDC that there are 20 cases in Osun State. From where you are at this moment, at what level are you involved, or are your members involved in Osun State from your own personal experience? Is it at the committee level or on the front line, treating the patients? At what level of involvement? What level of involvement are you asking for?
Yeah, well, from the grassroots, from the onset, from the beginning of constituting the team, we are already there. But I want to give it a national framework of outlook, that it should not just be a segregative composition. It must be all-encompassing. Like in Osun State here, many of our members, healthcare professionals, are already grafted into the task force, and we want to use that as a means of framework for other states that have not done that, if they've not done that. But our members are proactive already. They've already formed their own COVID-19 task force in their various institutions, and they are linking up with the state government, and they are doing wonderfully well. Like I told you, apart from our skills that we are displaying at the front line, we are also making some provisions. Some of the pharmacies have been encouraged to continue to manufacture hand sanitizers, hand wash, to carry to the field for use and to protect our members as well. So by and large, we want to continue to be
in just
involved.
A few seconds before we wrap up the conversation, you mentioned earlier that some of your members are involved in, perhaps finding a homemade cure or some form of, solution to this crisis. So, on a final note, in a few seconds, when should we be expected to hear from you? Because this is big talk. And how much are you working with NAFDAC on this?
Yeah, well, in a research work of this nature, you don't blow your trumpet until you have really discovered the solution. We are still working insidiously, trying to do some tests and see how effective those tests will be before we start to make noise about it. But we are really working. And we also want the government to assist us seriously. Things like incentives and motivation, like the finance minister had said. She said there's going to be an enhanced package for healthcare professionals. We want to know what those packages are, because in our various press releases, we have talked about life insurance for our members that are on the front line, that the hazard allowance or special allowance that we term COVID-19 special allowance for those on the front line should be enacted. This will be morale booster, and we'll be able to give in our best as we are laying our lives down for the masses. We should also be encouraged to give in our best.
That is very important, and that is very important. And we appreciate you for the work we're doing, and we wish you the very best. We've been speaking with Dr. Ogbonna Obinna, who is the national president of the Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals, made up of pharmacists, medical laboratory scientists, physiotherapists, and other health professionals. Thank you for your time this morning. Well, we'll go on a break. I'll be back for the final stretch, where we'll take a look at some of the messages you have sent in. Join us again.
Well, I see Rotimi Obishaki sending an email says, well, the problem with Africa is that the idea of copying Western world to the letter, whereas we have different terrains such as culture, ideas, behavior, attitude. Why don't we just leverage on them and evolve our system? Rotimi Obishaki says.
Well, listen to this one from Reverend IDJ on Twitter saying, all we want to know or hear is the government going to credit our account with any amount of money at any time, because the toll on us is not working as much, and well, it goes on to say especially people in the private sector and of course people in the informal sector. Anyway, so the question for him is, will there be a credit alert or not?
Well, Peter Okereke says, do you have one?
Yes, I have one from Olade who says, please help us beg the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs to pay the NPower beneficiaries.
NPower. Oh.
At this stay-at-home lockdown, our March stipends will still remain unpaid. We have family and responsibilities. We're dying of hunger. Please help us beg Shadia to pay us.
Well, Peter Okereke says, a lot of people are coming out for exercises, shopping, drinking. These are happening mostly at the interiors of our state. Is it not possible for government security personnel to be deployed to those remote and highly populated areas instead of just standing at major roads? So, we also got Titus Anya, Dunia Nathan. It just keeps coming on. Blessing Nakogo. So thank you all for your messages. Well, we'll see you again next time. I'm Chamberlain.
I'm Kyle Okikele.
And I'm Ayo Makinde. As we always say, please keep safe.